Morning folks, Happy New Year. Just finished watching the annual New Year's Eve Japanese show. Although it happened yesterday, I watched it this morning. And Kazuto Ioka against Joshua Franco, Super-Flyweight unification fight, which ended in a majority draw. I personally think Franco did a lot more in the fight. I think he deserved the decision. I had it 116-112, but it ended up as a majority draw, so it means both men keep their belts. I'm a big fan of Ioka. He's one of my favourites at the moment, and I think he was he was lucky to get away with that. I know the fight was in Japan. I don't like the screen corruption because I don't like to just assume that because it was in his home country, that's why he got away with a draw. However, he looked slow, because he's getting on a little bit. I mean, he's been around for quite some time, and he's been fighting at the top level in the lower weight divisions for quite some time. I just thought Franco was busier, faster. Usually, he was overall better. I thought. When I say I had it 116-112, so it wasn't like a wide fight. I didn't have it wide for Franco, but I thought he was a little bit unlucky there. But I would assume a rematch has to happen. Because it'd be nice to get these divisions cleaned up. I mean, Franco's got the WBA title, and he appears to be the only WBA champion. Because as everybody knows, I hate the WBA and their bullshit with endless belts. They seem to have scrapped something, and I think it's probably since Estrada was stripped of the WBA Super title, and Franco had the regular title, where they seem to have just kept Franco as the world champion. He's just the only one. He is it. He is the only champion in the division. So we're just taking a good step forward with the WBA, just having one guy per division. Same with featherweight. We've got Lee Wood, because Leo Santa Cruz was stripped of his WBA Super featherweight title, even though he hasn't defended it for years, and I actually forgot he had it. Excuse me. So so Lee Wood. I think they announced he is the sole world champion of the WBA at featherweight. So that's good. There's none of this. Two champions, sometimes three, bullshit. So anyway, I hope you all had a good New Year. I was going to do this video yesterday, but I had family round and got a little bit too drunk, to be honest, as I'm sure most people did. So yeah, I just woke up this morning. I didn't actually watch the fight yesterday. I did see the result. It popped up on Instagram, so I thought, oh, fuck it. So I watched it this morning, and yeah, it was good. It was all right fight. It wasn't the greatest fight I've ever seen, but I do think Joshua Franco was hard done by there. He's a good little fighter. I do like him. Those two fights with Maloney he had were, well, three technically. One of them was a bit dodgy, but the two that actually went the right way, were decent fights. So yeah, I rate him. I mean, obviously here in the UK, as I always say, they don't tend to cover the lower weight divisions very often. And we've had Paul Butler at bantamweight recently, Jamie McDonald, people like that over the years, and Charlie Magri years ago at flyweight. But this country doesn't seem to have a lot of value about anything over featherweight, really. Sorry, below featherweight, excuse me. So it is what it is. It's more dodgy decisions, although on a slightly different note, this is a boxing thing after all. But the other week when Paddy the Baddy in UFC, now I like him. I mean, I'm not a big mixed martial arts fan. I do like some of it. I watch big fights. I keep a kind of an eye on it. I'm not an expert. I don't know enough about it. The old days, Dan Severn and the Gracie family and Ken Shamrock, people like that I know, but I kind of dip in and out of it really. But yeah, friends of mine that I work with, they're big MMA fans, and they always say, oh yeah, MMA is better than boxing because there's no dodgy decisions. Well, there was a dodgy decision with Paddy the Baddie the other week, so and I actually watched that fight, and even me, being an absolute casual when it comes to MMA, thought he lost that one. So yeah, it just shows that all combat sports where there's subjective scoring is open to nonsense, shall we say. And speaking of nonsense, I saw the other day that the WBC have announced that they are going to do a transgender kind of league or divisional, whatever you want to call it, in boxing. Now, on the surface, I'm all for equality, don't get me wrong. I haven't got a problem. I have certain opinions about transgenderism, which I'm not going to here because it's not necessary. It's my opinion. Who cares? My outlook on life is you can do what you want with your own body and live your life how you want, as long as you're not hurting other people and bothering other people. Live and let live. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. I don't care. Now, when it comes to boxing, I think it's a bit strange because Mauricio Suleiman, the president of the WBC, has said that although yes, we're going to have transgender leagues or whatnot, but I believe the statement was something along the lines of no biological male will be able to fight a biological female, which of course I 100% agree with. So therefore, if you are a biological male, but you may identify as something else, then surely because you are biologically male, you just fight men. That makes sense to me? Or if you're a biological female but you identify as a male, however you are biologically, physically, every cell in your body is male, is female, then you fight women. I don't see the problem personally. If your biology is one way, then you fight those people who are the same as you. I don't know, maybe it's controversial, I don't know, but maybe some of you might think that's a bit of a weird way to think of it and I'm talking bollocks, but I don't see why you have to only fight other transgenders. If you are a biological male, you fight men. If you're a biological female, you fight females. That makes sense to me. But, that's just my opinion. You may not agree with me, I don't give a shit if you don't. Like I say, and if you don't agree with me and you think I'm talking bollocks, don't bombard me with hateful DMs on here or on Instagram, because I don't really give a fuck about what you think. If you want to argue with me, you can disagree with me all you want, but do it in a constructive manner. Do it in a polite way, like adults do, not name calling, throwing out the words like bigot and transphobe and shit like that, because those words lose meaning when you just throw them out for no reason. So, yeah, that's just my thought on it. To me, I think I'm being very logical. I'm not, but there you go. We live in an illogical world sometimes. So that's enough out of me. I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to chill out for the rest of the day. And I hope you all have a good one. And like I say, Happy New Year. Take care, folks, and I'll see you again.